Some South African celebrities and artists were left fuming this past week over the alleged mismanagement of 300 million rands by senior officials at the National Arts Council. The money was intended to be used to assist creatives during the strict lockdown. Arts and Culture Minister Nathi Mthethwa says the NAC is taking action against those involved. Now, for more on this, I'm joined by eNCA reporter Tsehoa Jumwahi from our newsroom. Good afternoon to you, Tseho. So, what is the NAC saying about the allegations of fund mismanagement?
Good afternoon, Morena. So the NAC is saying that they are on track and they are trying to make as many payments as possible. When I spoke to the spokesperson for the NAC, he mentioned that they've paid just over 60 million rand to those that actually applied for this particular funding. And he has refuted the claims that the money has disappeared. This is something that some of the artists have questioned as to where is this funding and where is the money, as they have been waiting for quite some time. But Tsepo saying that that money is still there and they are busy with the payments and processing those payments as best as they possibly can. And he did mention that we do know that some artists have actually sat in at the National Arts Council and they are saying that they will not leave until they have been paid. And the spokesperson mentioning to us that perhaps they thought that they would get paid at a certain time and that's why they are still there, but they are definitely making sure that the payments actually go through as quickly as possible. Let's take a closer listen, Morena.
One of the things that the NAC Council has in fact adopted is an understanding that every citizen has got the right to protest. And therefore, in understanding what is happening in the offices of the National Arts Council, we are quite aware that the issues that had brought the sitting group in there were genuine issues, and there were 8 questions that were posed to the council to respond to, which at this point we can confirm that those questions were responded to, including amongst others being uploaded on the website of the National Arts Council for every industry practitioner to see. Now, what we have been able to experience is that up to this point, we have seen that there are other new matters that have arisen that are raised by the sit-in practitioners. And what we have been able to also understand is that they have now said they won't be moving until they are themselves paid or allocated and the disbursements that are due to them. And in this regard, we must say that it is unfortunately not in our favor to want to push out people who are now sitting in our offices waiting for them to be paid. We can even confirm that there are some of those who are sitting in who have left the building because they were paid. And we're ensuring that we want to pay as much as early as possible or as quick as possible so that the sitting group can also go home and be with their families.
You also spoke to a trade union for musicians.
True, Morena, and the union TUMSA saying that they are also concerned and they are actually standing in solidarity with those that have staged the sit-in at the National Arts Council. However, they are saying that they need to look at the positives that will be coming from this. TUMSA saying that they will still be funding, especially if we head into a third wave, that they'll still be funding. And the positives to that is that they are hoping and thinking that about 80% of the artists will actually be able to receive this funding, if not more. And they are saying that this could actually roll out much quicker. But TUMSA has also sent a message to the minister and to those in leadership, really, to say that the conversations that they need to have and the communication needs to be a bit more better. And instead of people speculating about what will happen, the leadership needs to be more open about what is actually taking place, not just with the funding, but everything else within the creative space. Let's take a closer listen to what Gabby Leroux had to say.
Obviously, we are in solidarity with all the initiatives from within the sector to put pressure on all the powers that be to deliver this much-needed funding. But it has to be seen from the first premise that the available budget for the arts was never normal, even before COVID. And it was so clearly illustrated during COVID that budget is just simply not enough to take care of the sectors, especially now that we are in COVID, where it has become the sole provider, where the arts sector cannot provide for themselves by normal cultural cultural and creative activity, economic activity. So yeah, that little budget, which is already too little, has become completely inadequate to look after a sector that's now unemployed, that cannot sort of, at least to some extent, take care of ourselves through normal economic activities.
What else are the artists calling for, Tseho?
Well, Morena, I must really just mention that we went to the NAC offices yesterday and we spoke to the artists there. Sibongile Mngoma really just saying that they are now calling for the President Cyril Ramaphosa, to now step in this particular situation. There are about 20 of these artists that are still at those NAC offices. They've been there, Morena, for about 25, 26 days now, and they are saying that they will stay there for as long as it takes until they have received their payments. They've also said that there are some people from the NAC board that should actually they need to vacate their posts, because they've accused them, the artists have accused these members of actually looting and corruption, especially when it comes to this particular funding that they have now received. So the artists really calling for quite a lot, but their main call at the moment is that the President intervenes, and they are saying that although they have tried to speak to the Department of Arts and Culture, it seems their calls are falling on deaf ears.
Leave it there, Tseho. Thank you so much. That is our reporter, Tseho Jumwaki, coming to us from our newsroom.